Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today we're going to hit the ground running, I hope, with 4 hooves apiece as MbL, playing as the Lithuanians in blue, prepares to take on the Viper, playing as the Georgians in yellow. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings with sheep, with scouts, and with mule carts, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup we will be watching today? Now, we've seen MbL play this civilization very recently, the Lithuanians, a civilization that focuses primarily on their heavy cavalry. Their knights, their cavaliers, their paladins all get a free attack boost for every single relic that they collect, all the way up to a maximum of +4 for 4 relics. This feature also applies to their unique unit, the latest, a heavy cavalry unit whose attack actually ignores enemy armor, making it one of the most dangerous units in the game. Now, to gather these relics to get this free attack boost as fast as humanly possible, Lithuanian monasteries do work 20% faster. Now, to support their heavy cavalry on the battlefield, Lithuanian spearman line units and Lithuanian skirmishers do move 10% faster and can be upgraded to get extra pierce armor, making them a little bit more safe and secure against certain ranged units. Now, to build a robust economy to support their military endeavors, each Lithuanian town center does provide 100 food for free, and their town centers can be harder to raid since they can be upgraded to get a +3 range boost, which does make them outrange a lot of mangonels in the game. MbL pulling his first wild boar. Let's see if he takes any damage. Doesn't really look like it, although maybe he'll get blocked a bit by these villagers. Let's see. Let's keep an eye out. No. Oh, no, he does ultimately take a little bit of damage. Not the end of the world. Let's pivot north and take a look at the Georgians, a fairly recent addition to the game and a cavalry-centric addition to the game that comes with a few powerful economic features. To start with, all Georgian mounted units automatically regenerate HP. They can be upgraded to take 15% less population space, which does help them mass their unique unit, the Manaspa, a tanky cavalry unit whose attack actually increases when there are other Manaspas or Nightline units in the vicinity. Now, in addition, like the Tatars, very important for the Georgians to take this. I'm not talking about the deer. I'm not talking about the relic. I'm talking about the hill, the high ground, since all Georgian units and buildings take 40% less damage when they fight downhill compared to the usual 25%. Now, to help the Georgians build as big and powerful an army as fast as possible, they do start the game, as we saw, with a free mule cart, but 50 less food. Their fortified churches increase the work rate of villagers within an 8-tile radius by 10%. And the Georgian economy can be harder to raid since the repairing structures does cost 25% fewer resources. That was recently changed from 50% to 25%, although some of these changes I'm not too sure about. I think the Georgians and the Armenians still the top, or I shouldn't say the top 2 losers, the bottom 2 civs in terms of win rate, and their defensive structures can be upgraded to get a +2 attack boost, and their towers can be upgraded to deal pass-through damage, much like a Scorpion. And FYI, this is a defensive structure. So these are the 2 civilizations we have before us. We saw MbL very recently use the Lithuanians. Spoiler alert, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, crush Hera's Spanish play. Let's see if he can do the same to the Viper's Georgian play as the players spawn, I want to say pretty damn close to one another. Look at this. It's a pretty direct line of attack here. I would say 2/3 of this map is basically dead space. Might as well be Amazon tunnel the way this looks like, although MbL does have a big, thick, juicy forest in the forward position. Let's take a look at those bases, by the way, as MbL does have the resources. I was going to say clicks up to Feudal Age, but no, he's waiting for me to finish the sentence, I guess, and he goes up off the back of 18 villagers. The Viper doing the exact same thing. MbL, primary gold all the way to the right, primary stone all the way to the left, a few extra resources, some gold, and some trees in the backwards position. He does have a nice triangle-shaped clump of trees, which should make walling this pretty easy if that's the direction he wants to go. An interesting choice of wall off here. I guess he wants to jack a bit of lumber here. Doesn't want, for example, these villagers to come under attack, because it would have been very easy to just make a straight line this way, or maybe up a little bit to use the stone and then across. But he chooses a wider berth, which gives these villagers a little bit more time to run away if they come under attack. Additional gold off to the top as well. And where is his additional stone? Ooh, man, all the way to the right side. So not a terrible base here for MbL. I wouldn't dally on walling off this gold, though, as the Lithuanians do need a whole bunch of that if they want to go heavy cavalry. The Viper's base. Oh man, speaking of exposed, which I guess I wasn't, but I am now. This gold very exposed in the forward position. Primary stone nice and secure in the back, annoyingly placed on a hill. I guess it kind of looks like you can place a mining camp here, although the plains underneath this hill very much mining camp accessible, although mining camp is the wrong term. We are looking and working with mule carts, as one is already here. Oh, look at that, following the villager. Do they do this automatically, right? They shift to the next resource. I think I read that somewhere. I'm not 100% sure. Let's take a look at where his additional resources are. A bit more gold off to the top left. I like that they're close to one another, which makes the journey from one patch to the other not too terrible. Ooh, looks like the Viper's overstaying his welcome here. A scout already down. Looks like he took a bit of damage from the villager and from the halberdier, the spearman. By the way, 22 HP. Should be 23 any second now. Now should be 24. They regenerate 5 HP per minute at this stage of the game in Feudal, then 10 in Castle, 15 HP per minute in Imperial. Where is the Viper's additional stone pile? It's off to the left side of his base. And he also has a bit of a triangle shaped. His forward position, I mean, this is a wide area of attack, especially when going up against the cavalry civilization. But it is not insurmountable. It can be walled off, and he's focused, I guess, on a rear attack. And so he's walling off the backwards portion of his base. MbL, since the initial construction of these palisades on the left, hasn't really done much in the way of securing his base, except for maybe building a bit of infrastructure, which, as I'm happy to see, secures the gold for him. Viper, having found no luck with a scout, pushes in with a very angry spearman who takes issue with the stable, knowing that there's really nothing that can come out of here right now that will attack that scout, a spearman rather. I am getting all the units confused today, my goodness, which if this is not your first cast with me, you know is not an infrequent occurrence. I still don't understand why half the time I call monks knights and knights monks. But in any event, ooh, the Viper, he saw the right side is protected, so now he's moving in on the left. Now, this is not a bad civ, the Georgians, to take fights against spearmen, because you will take 18 damage a poke, but you can always retreat, and that scout with 22 HP, I'm assuming it's the same one, now has 35 HP sheer minutes later. Viper backs away his army 8. MbL's army 8. MbL housed again. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but this is a recurring issue here for our blue Lithuanian. 3 villagers, no, oh man, no fewer than 3 villagers putting up that house immediately. Might want to build a few more. Okay, and one gets pulled off of, looks like wood. Oh, probably should have dropped off that 10 lumber before he started constructing those houses. And look at this, the Viper is securing his entire flank on the left and his flank on the right, but the forward position, aside from one sentry here atop the hill, he's got nothing to defend against any kind of raids, although it doesn't really matter for him at the moment. He's the one putting on the aggression. I don't see a single blue dot anywhere on the minimap on the top half of the minimap. And just for shits and giggles, let's see how much of the map the players have explored, because I mentioned how I think this is basically an Amazon tunnel map with one avenue of attack for the players. Yeah, look at this. MbL, entire left side of the map, unexplored. The Viper. It looks like he tried to poke in. Maybe he saw this the stone pile and thought, hey, this might be his secondary stone. So let me try to see if that's it. And finally, we've got a kill at the 15-minute mark of the game. A good start to the weekend. A second kill is going to happen here. Ooh, man, these scouts. Oh, I don't know if the both spearmen were targeting the same scout or not, but a good get there for the Viper, who, as I mentioned, looks like he was trying to poke on the left, thinking that this stone pile indicated that his opponent was there, but then pivoted to the right and saw immediately that, hey, wait a second, I made a mistake. Or maybe the caster did, because this has 3 piles of stone in it instead of the usual 4 that the secondary has. So he knows, I guess, that his opponent is not there. Long story short, it doesn't seem like either player really scout. Oh, what is that? What do I have a highlight? Oh my god, this is the vision of the rocks. All the nature vision, I guess. MbL secures the right side of his base. This is a very wonky wall off. I mean, what's the point of this? Why not just extend it diagonally this way? Okay. Oh man, I love it. I love ranked ladder matches. There's so many things you see. Like, for example, the game that MbL played against Hera the other day with the Spanish. The people in the comments, the viewers, the awesome audience, pointed out that Hera might have been doing a no board challenge. And that's the kind of stuff you see on Ranked Ladder that really, you know... How do I put this? 1v1 is always a toss-up, right? It's not... Nothing is ever 100%. No one has anything even approaching a 100% win rate in Age of Empires. No player, no civ, no map, no nothing. And so you never really know what you're going to get. Whereas in tournaments, it's... I mean, players sometimes take risks when they're, you know, if it's a best of 7 and you're up 3 games on your opponent, you can take a risk or two. But if it's 3-3, the odds are you're probably not going to take a risk. Now, you might take a risk, but Ranked Ladder, you're more likely to see shenanigans and interesting and weird things. Is partly why I like it. And another reason I like it is because we got this big battle brewing here. A lot of spearmen to the back here, but the spearmen survive. The richer cavalrymen die as the Viper and MbL both literally 3 seconds apart from one another are heading up. Oh, look at it. He's trying to block it so the town center gets arrows shot off. Why didn't he just attack it with a scout? Amazing play out of the Viper here, trying to capture that one my god, spearman. I will get the units names right, I promise, as a few more spearmen die here to the north, and now this spearman dies as well. And that hissing, rattling sound tells us we have entered into the castle age state of the game. As the players disengage, let's take a look at their bases and see what the hell we can discern. Fantastic use of the fortified church here. So the work rate of all these villagers within this aura. And by the way, this is not the aura of the fortified church. It extends more. I believe this is the 6 tiles of range that it has. Extend that 2 more, and then you'll get the 10% work rate of an 8 tile radius. But great use of that fortified church. Another town center to the Viper, doing what the Viper likes to do, which is boom economically as MbL moves forward with 2 Lithuanian cav archers. Okay, interesting choice. A town center to the right for him. Archery ranges. Oh, is he gonna go cav archers? I mean, cav archers naturally have a bit of a clock on them. No, there's no... I don't think the Lithuanians get Parthian tactics, which means no extra armor, no attack bonus against these units. So an interesting play here out of MbL, going for 7 cav archers. Perhaps he wants to snipe villagers. Perhaps he wants to park his horse's ass right outside the radius here of these attack zones and snipe himself some hard-working Georgian villagers. I say hard-working because there's more and more fortified churches being plopped down here for the Viper, whose villagers are just going to absolutely go crazy in terms of productivity. Ooh, okay. The one-punch kid over here, this scout cavalry, manages to get the Viper's scout. Or is it the Viper's light cavalry, actually? No, he upgraded to light cav. Ooh, gets a monk. Does MbL, but now he's trapped. Kind of trapped. Oh, the Viper just a fraction of a second too slow there as MbL brings some reinforcements. And now all of a sudden the Viper's spearmen are a little bit more exposed than they were a second ago. So he backs off. Of course he does not want to jeopardize. And now the Viper is going full turtle mode. The placement of his villagers is quite good here for the Viper. The range on these cav archers right now should be a 6, yeah. Which means that they're going to have difficulty getting at a lot of these villagers. Where are his lumberjacks? Are these his only lumberjacks? 13 only? Okay. So he is going heavy on the food. 26 villagers on food to the 13 of our Lithuanian. Our Lithuanian going 20 villagers on wood to the 13 of the Viper. So one going heavily on wood. Big surprise there. The player with the cav archers who snipe another monk. And the other player who we don't really know what the Viper is going to do right now. He's got 0 villagers on stone. He's got a whole bunch of gold. He's training monks. Mule cart moving away, doesn't really need to move away. It has 300 HP and 2 pierce armor, which means it's pretty damn secure against these cav archers. And the Viper walls himself off with a thick market here. Not a Saracen market, but a market nonetheless. And looks like another Cav Archer bit the dust here. Is MbL paying attention? Is he paying attention? No, he is not, and loses the second Cav Archer. This scout. This is like when you have to take your little brother with you. Your mom says, "You're taking Johnny with you. I don't care." And the little scout cavalry unit from the Dark Age here joins this Castle Age army. Or maybe it's just for vision. I'm not too sure. In any event, I was always that little brother. My older brother forced to drag me along anywhere he went, to the movies, to the gym. Although those days of going to the gym, honestly, the days of going to the movies are long past. Does anyone still go to movies? I don't even know. I think the last movie I saw was maybe like 300. I don't think I've seen a movie in like 15 or 20 years in the movie theater. Oh my God. What the hell? Look at these mid-cast epiphanies that you are all part of. And this was the Viper's game plan. This is why he had gold, to buy stone, so that he can plop a very, very well-placed castle here. This Lord of the Rings mountain castle atop the hill. Ooh, MbL's gonna discover it. Will he go? Will he try to snipe the monks? He does not. Will he lose a few Cav Archers, though, is the real question. Loses one. Immediately guns it down, loses two more. Oh, look at the Viper, look at the Viper. Spreading them, contracting them, spreading them, contracting them. Does manage to get 3 conversions, 2 of them surviving. And Manaspas are out, +1/+1 on them. A few more. Remember, you need 5 additional Manaspas. The explanation was a little unclear, which confused even yours truly when I cast my first Georgian game. So to get the +1 attack boost, you can't just have 5 Manaspas. You need 6, 11, 16, and 21. Because apparently the one that you have who gets the bonus doesn't really count. Oh my God. The Viper, 17 villagers on stone. This is going to get very messy. And was I wrong about this map being Amazon tunnel? Oh, look at the Viper. Look at the Viper. He backs away. He loses control of this hill. What a perfectly placed hill. Someone's going to have to take this. Either MbL to stop the yellow aggression, or the Viper to push back the blue tide. For now, he's taking another well-placed castle atop the hill. Remember, this castle is now going to take 40% less damage from units beneath it, which, being a King of the Hill castle, means everything and everyone is beneath it. And wow, this is why I love that freaking mule card, because it allows you to do this. Oh yeah, why not? Just get 420 food for free. Why not? The deer are here. You don't need to build a mill. You don't need to invest in anything. Just an incredibly versatile unit that makes your villagers even more flexible than they already are, and able to be maneuvered around the map better. This scout still around. Does he expect some kind of attack from the right side? Has he just forgotten about it? Has it scouted enough? Now the players look like they're scouting around the map. Let's take a look at relics, by the way, because as I mentioned in the game that MbL played before, and before I jump into that, I'm going to do what I always do, which is interrupt myself. Both players are heading up to Imperial Age yet again, seconds apart. Literally 5 or 6 seconds apart. Crazy. Oh, and he secures this stone patch that he saw earlier on in the game with his scouting. The deer having been depleted. 420 minus decay has been added to the Georgian coffers. And he sees another relic. He sees this relic. It is 2 relics to 2. The Viper has denied 2 relics of his opponent. Where are they? Okay, there's one in here. I see the flag, which means there's one in here. So at most, these Lachai, which I should have pointed out a few minutes ago when I saw them on the minimap, on the production tab rather, they are going to cap out at a maximum of +4 instead of +6, unless MbL puts on the gas, puts the pedal to the metal, and starts attacking some of these fortified churches. And these Manaspas are trapped, and there's not 6 of them, so they just have the basic iron casting +2, which means they are going to die, and they are going to die hard. Let's see how many Cav Archers they'll take to hell with them. Not terrible. for a battle where MbL didn't really micro, losing 4 Cav Archers for 5 Manaspas. Pretty equal trade if you ask me, but the Manaspas are back to the right. Now there's more of them, so now there's 7, which means these guys should come with a +3 attack. Svan Towers being researched. First time I've seen this technology researched. All the defensive structures, as both players, by the way, hit Imperial mid-sentence. All of his defensive structures are going to have a +2 attack, which means the castle is going to jump from 11 to 11 +2. His town center is going to jump from 5 to 5 +2. Even his fortified church is going to jump from 5 to 5 +2. And and if he builds any towers, they're going to be Scorpion-like and deal pass-through damage. This is why he kept that scout here. He saw the gold. He knew the Viper was going to eventually go out to get it. And that's why he had the vision, and that's why not a single villager makes it back. This is like a horror movie. A clump of virgins move out. Or maybe not virgins, but you know, there's always one virgin. Ooh, elite latest. Go into the middle of the woods. They want to get some gold. They want to play by the lake. They want to, I don't know, have fun on the weekend, get high, get drunk, and have all kinds of crazy sex. And in come the murderous Cav Archers and kill them all. Starting, as always, with the virgin. I think that was the rule, right? From Scream, the first Scream movie, when they laid out the rules of the horror movie genres. Or the horror genres. Oh my goodness, we're getting halberdiers, we're getting squires, we're getting chain barding armory. What is our Lithuanian building here? His latest is now at a +4. A battle ensues in front of the Viper's castle. The Viper does have a castle, but these Lechai are absolutely wrecking the Manaspas. This is why I'm telling you it's one of the most dangerous units in the frickin' game. Look at that pile of dead Manaspas, and now going to be a pile of kindling as these Trebs come under attack. That being said, the majority of the army here is Cav Archers. And the Viper's repairing it. The Viper saves one of his Trebs. Amazing, amazing save there by him. You are not a mule cart, so you cannot just move out of the way of a Treb ball. What a bloody engagement for both players there. Let's back up for a second, because I'm talking a lot of nonsense about virgins and getting high in the woods. The Manaspa's at a +3. Why? How many are there here? There's 10 of them. So the +2 with iron casting and the +1 from the 5 extra Manaspas gives you a +3. And what are our army counts? Oh man, our Georgians 16 army count? This is his entire army? Our Lithuanians got up to 43. Villager population identical. Now it is the Viper who's housed that 150 population. Monastery going up for him. Why is there a monastery there? The Viper, by the way, that relic that was here, he took it. And MbL yet again sees the move out onto this gold pile, and this castle definitely is going to go up. But how many villagers will die? Unfortunately for MbL, he does not have enough Cav Archers to one-shot. Why? Because the villagers are taking 40% less damage. They're on the higher ground, and MbL has to back away here. Got a few villager kills, but not worth losing 2, potentially 3. Nope, just 2 Cav Archers. Oh no, I missed a big bloody engage here as both players, it looked like we're en route to reinforce their position here. And it looks like yet again the Lechai emerge victorious. 15 kills on this group of 11 already. One of those kills is a villager, and now the quicker moving halberdiers are here. They have literally no upgrades, just a +2 attack. He needs a bit of armor on them. Halberdier attack not as relevant in my opinion. IMO against melee units. Need those armor upgrades to keep you safe from those crazy, oh my goodness. Speaking of crazy armor, here comes the extra pierce armor. For these halberdiers, we'll keep our mouse clicked on them, and now we'll see a 0+2. There it is. Okay, so now he's getting armor upgrades. Okay, so MbL agrees that when you're fighting melee, probably better to get an armor upgrade. Your attack not really relevant as the halberdier against cavalry. It's mostly that +32 bonus that you do. Viper getting ballistics, the Viper getting bodkin. The Viper's castles now have a 15 attack with 10 range as he moves here to the right. Ooh, the Lechai trying to get something done here, trying to get some villagers, but the villagers with the mule cart just freaking pivot to the right. How amazing is that unit, that structure? Never mind, they didn't pivot anywhere. They just ran into the castle. And this is a whole lot of Manaspas. These should be, yeah, 32 of them should be at a +8. Look at that insane attack. 14 +8. This is Aztec level attack, except on a cavalry unit. Not the greatest HP, but look at that freaking armor. 8 melee armor, 6 pierce against any other unit would be absolutely game-ending, shattering levels of armor. But against the unit that ignores armor, you could have 1,000,000 melee armor. It doesn't really matter. Ooh, the Viper's got to be careful here. You do not want to take an engagement against these halberdiers. Doesn't matter how good it's going to be. You are not coming out on top here against a trash unit. Bombardment of Trebs begins as a bombardment of castle begins. The Lechi are here. The battle yet again in front of the Vipers. 3rd, 4th, 5th. I don't even know what number castle this is. Welcome to Cast of Empires. This level of professionalism is what you should expect, where the caster doesn't know the names of units. He doesn't see the battles. Oh, look at that Treb just surrounded by debris and detritus flying into the air. You love to see it. And now the Lithuanian has to back away, even though I think he took a not a terrible engage there. The Viper's army count has just skyrocketed all of a sudden from 13, 18 to 37. And he definitely has more than 21 Manaspas, which means yet again, all of these are at a 22 attack, which means even the Halberdier with its meager 60 HP needs only 3 attacks to die. And the Viper is moving in with his Trebs, wants to end this game now, now, down. Go, the castle, he says. As more Manaspas reinforce, both players sitting on a healthy villager count, although our Georgians' economy about 20% bigger allows him to reinforce endlessly. Plus, he has a bit of a defender's offender's advantage here. These Manaspas are spawning pretty damn close. Looks like a bit of raiding to the back of MbL's base as well. We'll see that in picture. And why are you just hanging out here, Mr. Treb? MbL is doing a good job clogging up the works. His army count is not terrible. I don't want to look away, but there's a militia in here somewhere. There he is. You see him poking his capped head. He's got some funny little hat on. Not exact. It's like a leather hat, boiled leather, or whatever the hell they used to make armor out of before they invented heavier metals. MbL, he's got a good amount of resources. He's training 38 halberdiers. The problem is they're not Gothic halberdiers. They're not training in about a blink of an eye. He needs time here, and the more time he gives the Viper, the more infrastructure seems to be falling. Luckily for him, the Viper is not concentrating all 5 Trebs on one barracks. Otherwise, I believe they should be able to one-shot. And all of a sudden, MbL has been given enough time. He's on the high ground here in the center. He is pushing this tide of yellow Manaspas. 47 Manaspas. Who the hell takes this fight? Looks like the Lechi are crushing it on the right. Looks like the Manaspas are crushing it on the left. And I still don't know who's taking this fight. Looks like the Lithuanian just absolutely slaughtered those Manaspas. Holy shit. Holy shit. MbL with the hold of the century here. But your units are not invincible. Oh my god, they're not Viltrumites. Get your ass back. Oh, they're all gonna die to the castle fire. And why is this castle on fire here? Really? Oh, okay. Right. Now things are a little bit clearer as to why the hell the Viper won this game. I mean, holy shit. Let's watch that again, because that was freaking awesome. And you guys know how much I love my battles. Okay, so the Viper's pushing in through the right. There's literally nothing here. This castle is all that stands between the Viper's armies and the ooey gooey inner economy center of the Tootsie Roll that is MbL's base. And even though he did a double wall off here in a still a very funny, interesting shape to the right. Okay, completely open. But what an absolute battle. This is why the Viper, I guess, didn't really give a rat's ass about losing his huge clump of Manaspas, because he's already here on the right. And there's more villagers coming. There's more Manaspas coming. Are there Manaspas being trained here? Did MbL chase a little bit too far back? Did he have a choice? He needed to get rid of those Trebs. And now look at that, the Viper. Only these 3 Trebs, all of the Trebs here. So what an absolute crazy strategic win here out of our yellow Georgian, pulling MbL's entire army here to the center of the map, this Amazon tunnel corridor, while he began gathering his army here. I mean, look at the 3 Trebs garrisoned inside the castle, waiting to be let out, waiting to pounce. But more importantly, at the end of the game, let's get rid of the Trebs. Let's get rid of the villager. Okay, it looks like the militiaman did die. Poor militia guy. So HP is not that different. 46 Manaspas. Oh my god, can you imagine they didn't cap out at a +4? How many would 46 give you? What is that, 9? On top of the 4, so +13? Yikes. Good thing they capped it. But the important thing for MbL, I don't think he relinquished control of this hill. And let's see how the battle unfolds. The Viper retreats. So very easy decision making here for the Viper. Draw your enemy into the castle fire. You see these yellow lines? Draw your enemy that away. MbL, easy decision. Draw your enemy this away to the hill where you have parked yourself on top. And let's see who ultimately gives. Looks like the Viper gives in first. So he moves in. He tries to get a surround. I like that he's ignoring the villagers with almost all of his Manaspas. That's a good move. And now the battle has been engaged. Let's see what we're working with. Okay, actually, let's get rid of some of these halberdier because they weren't here before. So now all of a sudden, the Viper's Manaspa count down significantly, and he's down in HP now. Wow. What just an absolutely visually stunning engagement here. I mean, 2 perfect counter units to the Manaspa, the halberdier and the Lechai, or Letis rather, for speaking in the singular terms. Do I see a villager in here just randomly carrying a giant ball of gold? Okay, she's got 1 gold. An absolute slaughter. So the Viper gives attacks into the high ground, and with that 25% extra attack, those Lechai who already ignore armor already attack on a freaking 20. And the Manaspa only has 110. Even in the elite version, only 110 HP. This is not a Boyar. This is not a Paladin. This is not a Mameluke. This is the trade-off, I guess, when your attack can be boosted to up to 22. Although now with all the dead Manaspas, it's literally at just what? A +1, because there's only 9 of them within. And remember, it's a 15 tile radius. So it extends significantly. So I believe it is caught this Manaspa. This one, maybe not. This one looks like he's a bit far from this clump here. But what an absolute epic final battle to end the game on. And ultimately, even though MbL won in this part of the map, the Viper's push on the right catches him completely by surprise. And holy moly, MbL, 64 gold left in the fuel tank. And that is probably why he GG'd, even though what an amazing battle he took here. But this is definitely a game for the books. What an amazing frontal engage with this side swipe. Wow. If MbL saw this, if he could have peeled off a few halberdiers here and there, he doesn't even have a lot of wood to train more halberdiers. That is very unfortunate for him. No discounts whatsoever on these guys. How are their armor upgrades? Okay, so they're not fully armored. Actually, no, they are, right? The Lithuanians are missing the last armor upgrade, right? Okay, but he engages into 3 castles, and those Lechai can't survive that long. What's their pierce armor? Okay, it's a 5, so not terrible. But remember, these are Svan Tower castles, so they attack on a 16. Oh my god, a 16. Yikes. I mean, what the hell do you do? What an absolute crazy. Let's see how many fortified churches the Viper had, by the way. 6 fortified churches. So this is like a combination of what? Berber level movement speed and Roman level productivity, although double the Roman. I think the Roman's only 5% more productive. These guys are 10, they work 10%. Now, I don't know if they move 10% faster, but they work 10% faster, which means they gather resources 10% faster. Based on what we're seeing here, nothing really under construction. Not too sure where these guys are going. Kind of clumped next to the market, maybe buying some pizza for their trip to get high in the woods. But in any event, MbL takes the best possible engage he could take here in front of his base, secures the left side, but a sneaky side attack by the Viper sideswipes him, and he has no choice. He's out of resources. He can't even train that many halberdiers anymore. Let's take a look at the stats. What a fun game. And by the way, I'm glad to see a W for the Georgians. They have just been underperforming, which is, again, why I said in the beginning, I'm not too sure why they needed a nerf in terms of repair resources, but it is what it is. Peak APM for the Viper, Hera levels 200 to 300. In the middle of the game, MbL, right at the end of the game. Oh, big surprise there, microing his heart out on that battle. So absolutely epic economies. Not that different, even with all of those fortified churches. The Viper is ahead only a little bit in wood. He is down significantly because of those cav archers. Relics not really playing a role gold-wise, but definitely playing a role in the Viper denying MbL an even more powerful late hiss. Looks like 5 conversions apiece, not something we see every day, but only 2% of the army highs, so conversions not really playing a role either. Kill count, the Viper exactly 30 kills ahead, although MbL got 7 more villager kills, and just an absolute epic last 2 minutes of the game. I mean, I don't know what I can say except to say it again, that MbL took the best possible fight he could here, even though look at the battleground. Holy shit. What are all these little brown things? Is that from the Manaspa, or is that from the Latus? Is that from the Halberdier? What is that? It kind of looks like seeds, like little tiny seeds after you eat a bagel or something, and then you look down at your keyboard, and all of a sudden you're like, shit, I gotta buy a new keyboard because this one's full of seeds. But in any event, with seeds or without or seedless, doesn't really matter. The Viper with the sneaky on the right side exposes MbL's flank, the one undefended, unwalled flank, even though I guess this is also open now that the forest is gone. And MbL, even though, like I said, did the best that he possibly could, and even though his halberdiers do move faster at 1.21 tiles a second, it is still a long road to Tipperary to get their butts over here, and he just does not have the time. I guess he's got a good number. How many lumberjacks right before he died? 40 lumberjacks is not terrible. You can continue halberdier production, but eventually halberdiers, you know, there's a ceiling on how effective they can be, especially in this late stages of the game when there are so many castles. Plus, what the hell do you do against these 3 castles? You don't have a single treb. You either have the wood for halberdiers or you have the wood for a treb. You go treb, you're good here. You're screwed here. You go halberdiers, you're maybe good here, but you're definitely screwed over here. And wow, glad to see a W, like I said, for the Georgians. And with that W, it is the Viper who emerges victorious, but GG in an incredibly fun game to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.